Also on YouTube, you can watch MrBeast, of course. I don't know if you saw, he posted a new video over the weekend.
I did not.
I did watch this one from MrBeast called 2000. I helped 2,000 people walk again. He goes through, this is one of his, what would you call it, philanthropic videos, where he literally gives 2,000 people that are like amputees for one reason or another, weren't able to walk. He gives them prosthetic legs, many of them in the United States, but many of them internationally as well. And so another instance of MrBeast. Some people question his motives, but at the end of the day, he helps a lot of people.
He does.
You can't be upset about that. At the end of the day, these are a bunch of people that couldn't walk otherwise.
Right.
And I do think it's nice too how like he sheds some light on some of their stories and what they've gone through and things like that. And then at the end of the video, he gets even a little more possibly controversial than he has in the past, because he says, the quote is from the end of the video, "I wanted to end this video a little differently than normal. And I wanted to say that the fact that some of these people had insurance and were denied, the fact that these people had insurance but didn't have the right coverage, it just doesn't sit right with me." He said their only chance right now of getting a prosthetic leg so they can walk again, they can go and get a job, is for a YouTuber to step in and help them, which is absurd. And for, I think a lot of us, people complain about their health insurance or about health insurance generally, but I think most of us just don't really understand how it works.
Right.
But that said, the idea that these people did have insurance and it doesn't cover against, against getting a prosthetic leg feels like that is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it feels like it shouldn't be the case. I believe if you are like a veteran, there is definitely coverage for you. If you're part of like the VA or something like that.
That makes a ton of sense.
But if you're just a regular person, end up in a really bad accident, like a car accident, and they have to amputate a leg. Unfortunately, that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
Then, I guess you could end up in a scenario where your healthcare just denies you being able to have this prosthetic leg. And I don't know how much they cost, but I would imagine, as anything else in our healthcare system, it is probably extremely expensive to get this.
Yeah. That is, I think, at least one of the people, obviously, out of 2,000, that's bound to be. But I believe one of the stories that I remember seeing was a guy who did lose his legs in a car accident. And so that's definitely, it can happen.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's, we all have insurance, at least we're supposed to, legally. Like, who's going through their entire insurance plan before, you sign up, especially if it's for your job or whatever, like, it's like, yep, this is the one I have. And you don't know what it covers.
No.
You have no idea. But I also feel like insurance, like when you think about insurance, I feel like we can all get upset if like, oh, they don't pay for enough of this medication or whatever, that, the stuff that's in some cases you need it to live, but in other cases like, well, this makes things better for me.
Yeah.
Like the lower end stuff that also too, like if you had a decent enough job, you could pay for this. But how many people could actually, after losing their legs in any situation, be able to go ahead and pay for prosthetic legs for this? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That feels like the exact type of thing that insurance is there for.
Right.
And so the idea that there's so many people out there that weren't covered is pretty absurd.
Yeah. And like you said, the fact that he had to come in as a YouTuber and help these people. And I'm sure there's people he didn't even get to.
Yeah.
He can't help everybody.
There's got to be more than 2,000 people worldwide.
Yeah. That were, and not able to access it. And so
that is one thing too. When he does these philanthropic videos where he's helping people, it's always nice. And the people that are getting helped have to be so grateful.
Right.
And like, I'm grateful to see him doing this. But then I'm also thinking, like, what if I was one of the people, like he helped a bunch of people see, right? I have horrible eyes. Like, why couldn't that be me?
And why wasn't I on the list?
Yeah. How do I sign up for this?
I was number 2001.
I didn't know they put out an application for, but a casting call for people that need things fixed. But nevertheless, it is, I am grateful for him doing this. And when you have the biggest YouTuber, I think, in the world, mentioning this, hopefully it can make some people think twice about how we can change things for the better. They can actually have the power to do that.
Right. And I think that's why he, said what he did. And he also posted on X following up, with more comments about it. So hopefully it does help bring some change into that reality that so many Americans and people all over the world face.
Yeah. And nevertheless, at least he helped 2,000 people. It's more than most of us can say.
Yeah.
And you know what they say, too? If you make a difference in just one person's life, that makes it all worth it.
While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.